Welcome to VIBIN with Dominic Mancuso. Every tribe has a leader. Ours was Mama. Our queen, Mama. Life. Mama. Infinite love. Welcome and happy Mother's Day weekend to you all. Thanks for tuning in. I've got an exciting show planned for you today. It's pretty dear to my heart. We've got some special guests. We've got Mr. Joe Yanuziello, who's going to be here, the gentleman who built Angelina. So you're going to hear the story of Angelina a little later in the show. And we also have a very good friend of mine, a brother from a different mother, Mr. Jerry Poppa Bear Caringi. Some of you know him already from the Dominic Mancuso group. Jerry's going to be with us again, sharing some banter and some conversation. And we prepared a beautiful piece, Portami A Ballare. We did a duet this past week, a couple days ago, and I just kind of edited it up nicely for you all to experience, since we're still in that social distancing and we can't be in the studio together. God, I know I just long for the day to have my boys back with me and where we could be making music together in the same space, and maybe we'd be broadcasting some future concerts together, performing for you. In the meantime, I want to commence with a performance before we get Jerry on the line and get him into the show. I want to perform a little piece with Angelina. This is Angelina, ladies and gentlemen. And this song is called Fever. Never know how much I love you. Never know how much I care. When you put your arms, that love I get, a feeling I can hardly bear. You give me fever. When you touch me, fever all through the night. Fever! When you love me, I said a fever's gonna treat me right. Fever. Sun lights up the daytime, moon lights up the night. I light up when you call my name, 'cause I know you're gonna treat me right. You give me fever when you kiss me, fever when you hold me tight. Fever when you love me, I said a fever's gonna treat me right. You give me fever. Talking about storytelling today. That's right, we're telling stories. Let me tell you a little story about Sister Rosa Parks. Sister Rose, she was hard one day, after a hard day on a job, when all she wanted was a well-deserved arrest, not a scene from an angry mom. The bus rider said, lady, you got to stand up, 'cause a white person wants that seat. But Miss Rose, she said, no, not no more. I'm gonna stay here and rest my feet. Thank you, Miss Rosa. You are the spark. You started our freedom movement. I said, thank you, Sister Rosa Parks. The police came without fail, took Sister Rosa off to jail, and $14 was a fine. Brother Martin Luther King said it was our time. The people of Montgomery sat down to talk. They said all God's children should walk, until segregation was brought to his knees, and we achieved freedom and equality. Hey, hey. Thank you, Miss Rosa. You are the spark. You started our freedom movement. I said, thank you, Sister Rosa Parks. Hey, Angelina is in the house. Hey, baby. I want to get Jerry on the phone. See if we can get Mr. Poppa Bear in the house. Jerry's been entertaining all you Facebook people out there. If you haven't tuned in to Jerry, you should check him out at Jerry Caringi. That's Jerry Caringi, Caringi. Check him out on Facebook. He's always playing away, jamming away. He's playing left-hand bass, keyboards, solos. He's got some cool drum loops going. He's grooving like an MF. But anyway, getting back to the program. So, like I said, we've got Mr. Joe Yanuziello coming in later in the show. And right now, let's give Jerry a call. See if we can get him up here. Give him a little ding. Come on, Jerry. What's going on with Jerry? He's not available. He stood me up. You think we should try? Let's see if we get him on a different number here. You know, Jerry could be receiving calls from anybody at this time. Let's try this one. He's got his European agents on one phone. He's got his North American agents on the other. He's a busy guy, Jerry. There he is.
What you doing, good man?
Poppa Bear, welcome to the show. Let's get you in here. There he is. There he is. Mr. Jerry Caringi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
I took it outdoors. I took the VIBIN outdoors.
Are you wearing a scarf?
You know what? It's still a little bit chilly. You know, even though we're waiting for the summer to arrive, it feels like a day in mid-October. Go Leafs, go!
Oh, Jerry, I've been following your performances on Facebook Live. It's been great, man. Are you having a good time or what?
Oh, good time, and everybody's digging it, and I'm digging it as well. You know, I just get down and do some real-time jamming with my keyboard, and I'm having some fun.
Yeah.
You know, we're not gigging, so we might as well bring the gig to the people in their homes. You know, and I'm glad they accept me in their houses.
Well, Jerry, you're an entertainer al primo livello. You're.
Oh, come on.
No, you are. You're charming. I enjoy it. I sit back. I'll pour myself a glass of wine, and I'll let you take me on a ride, man. It's really charming.
Now that I know you're watching, I have to put the show in full throttle.
So, Jerry, I wanted to get you on the show because, you know, you're like a brother from a different mother. And I love you dearly. And this weekend is Mother's Day. And like I said to you earlier in the week, I wanted to record something in homage to Mom. And I know you had recently lost your mother.
Yes. And that was not too long ago.
Yeah, when was that exactly? That was like,
October, I think it was October, yeah.
yeah, I lost my mother in October as well.
Yeah. Well, it's tough time, you know. It was a tough year, but we got great memories with mom, and you know, it was that time and her calling, and you know, what can you do?
Yeah.
Just remember good memories and carry on with a lot of her with us.
You know, Jerry, you've been a big supporter of my work, and I really appreciate whether it's touring or whether it's recording or doing film
Definitely.
work. And I just want to personally say thank you publicly, and that's why it's special to have you on the show.
Thank you.
I know you've been supporting the show, and I appreciate that.
Yes.
We've got each other, right? We
Yep.
gotta look out for each other, and hopefully this audience today can share your information with their friends and check you out. I told them how to reach you on Facebook, and
Thank you. And you know what? The gift of music and the pleasure of playing music, it kind of you know, shuts everything else down. It makes us aware of the arts and the music that people are so passionate about, and they love hearing music. You know?
yeah,
Did you catch that while you were putting on your headphones?
yeah, the love of hearing music and listening
Yeah.
to music. Yeah, I caught that.
I mean, and it's a good vibe, you know. And when I'm entertaining, I hope they're enjoying it. Then grab a glass of wine or whatever beverage they have, and just sit back and enjoy and forget about some things, you know. And that's the good thing about music. It makes us puts us in a trance and a different environment, you know. Sends our mind elsewhere. And you know, I always encourage people, if they play an instrument, to join in with me. I usually leave sections open if they can solo, and if they don't play an instrument, hey, just enjoy listening. You know, what can I say? But it gives a chance to some of the players, even the young players that are coming up, that are phenomenal, that are practicing, that don't have a chance to jam with professionals or with players that can give them that little lift. You know, lift that bar a little bit, and they can jam along, which
That
I think I made it pleasurable in that sense.
that makes so much sense because you know even though there's issues with our latency and trying to get connected
Oh
in real
yes,
time.
I try to explain that as well. You know, people tell me, "Oh, did you see that band, that whole symphony, 60-piece violin recorded?" I said I tried to explain it, but you know, the technology, a lot of people don't understand it. They think it's really happening right at the moment. But, you know, it's all about recording yourself and then sending it to an editor who does all the magic and puts all the pieces together, which is still beautiful. It's still art. It's still art. And it's a way of bringing music into the home in a technological way. You know what I mean? And I'm glad there's opportunity for us to use this technology and learn it. I'm still learning it while I'm in quarantine mode, and I'm learning a lot of new things to innovate yourself. As a musician, you're always innovating yourself, trying to get that sound, trying to get that new lick you want to learn, or that new chord that turns you on, or a band that you might check out that inspires you, or a musician that inspires you, or a vocalist, or you know, it's available out there, and technology allows us to expand the horizon on our talents. You know,
Absolutely, it's very resourceful, and
very resourceful.
I just wanted to say to some of the musicians out there that might want to jam along with you, you know, because it's not a thing where you guys are interacting with each other, they could still take advantage of the fact that you're streaming, and then they could just play in their own environment
Absolutely.
at their own
I have,
volume, so that they can just get a feel for playing for someone with
Actually,
someone.
minutes ago, I just got contacted by a guitarist in Montreal who loved the track, and he goes, "Hey, I'd like to really show you what I've done. I've recorded on top of your track, and I want to send you the tracks." Absolutely, I want to hear what you've done. You know,
Yeah.
and they don't have the means of mixing it with what I already did, but they want me to hear what they did, and they feel good about it. And you know what? If I made that person feel good, and few other people feel good, I'm doing something right.
Right on, Papa Bear. Love your spirit. Papa Bear, I'm going to give you the honors. We're going to throw to the video that we produced, the Portami A Ballare, in homage to our mothers. Do you want to say anything about it before we go?
No, all I like to say is that I'm glad I took part in this video for you, and I was very honored that you asked me.
You're welcome. My pleasure, brother. Listen, you take care of yourself. Give us a
Abs-
little perspective of the pool. we can keep at least 6 feet away, right, in the pool?
Yeah.
No?
But no, I got to do some cleaning up tomorrow. I'm going to work on it, but you know, it takes a couple of days to fill it up.
Let me see. Oh, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, once we get that all cleaned up, we'll be having some quarantine dips for sure this summer, right, Jer?
And the barbecue's ready.
Attaboy.
And,
Okay,
you know,
brother.
it's also about getting together. And let's hope we get through this. We will prevail. And now we can get all together again around a nice table and break bread with each other and enjoy some moments that we all enjoy being together. And music brings us there as well, you know.
That's a promise, brother. I'll take you up on
Okay.
that. Thank you
All the
again.
best, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jerry and I performing Portami A Ballare, dedicated to our late mothers. Portami a ballare, uno di quei balli antichi che nessuno sa fare più. Sciogli i tuoi capelli, lasciali volare, lasciali girare forte intorno a noi. Lasciati guardare, sei così bella che non riesco più a parlare di fronte a quei tuoi occhi così dolci e così severi. Perfino il tempo si è fermato ad aspettare. Parlami di te, di quello che facevi, se era proprio questa la vita che volevi, e come ti vestivi, e come ti pettinavi, se avevo un posto già in fondo ai tuoi pensieri. Dai mamma dai, questa sera lasciamo qua i tuoi problemi e quei discorsi sulle rughe e sull'età. Dai mamma dai, questa sera fuggiamo via, è tanto che non stiamo insieme e non è certo colpa tua, ma io ti sento sempre accanto anche quando non ci sono, e io ti porto ancora dentro anche adesso che sono un uomo, e vorrei saperti più felice, se vorrei dirti molte più cose, ma sai, mamma sai, questa vita mi fa tremare e sono sempre i sentimenti i primi a dove pagare. Ciao mamma ciao, domani vado via, ma senti troppo sola, allora ti porto via. Vorrei saperti più felice, se vorrei dirti molte più cose. Portami a ballare, uno di quei balli antichi che nessuno sa fare più. Mr. Jerry Caringi, hope you enjoyed that. La Mamma, love that song. Luca, Barbarossa. That song won Sanremo. It's one of these one-hit wonders, you know. I think it was in the late 90s, somewhere around 97, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, that was performed. I did that in 2 takes. And it's just one of those pieces that's in my repertoire that I always think of Mom when I sing it. It was great to have Poppa Bear. Isn't he a charming fellow? I love him dearly. And you would too. And you will too. Right now, if anyone would like to share photos of their mother on this post, feel free to do so. Just put them in the messaging. Take a picture of your mom and bring her energy to us. Let's share that beautiful energy of our mothers and a homage for them this weekend. I hope you're enjoying your Friday. Maybe you have a little afternoon happy hour libation on the VIBIN show. I'm having a blast producing this stuff, and it's nice to be able to do it out of the comfort of my home. I hope things are sounding good. I hope things are looking great. My friends are excited. I've got so many wonderful things up and coming. On the 22nd of May, we're going to have DMG. I'm going to feature the entire band. So we might have a split screen with all members of the group having a chat, so you're going to be able to see us vibing out. It is an extraordinary energy that we share amongst each other. A lot of love. I'm going to be publishing for the first time footage from our European tour. We're going to probably do a couple of pieces for you, of course, in our own isolated states, but we're going to perform, send the track to someone else. He's going to perform on top, and we're going to do the best we can to share some beautiful things with you. Ho visto che ci stanno vari italiani dell'Italia. Ciao, buonasera. Adesso sono le 10:30, verso le 10:30 in Italia. Benvenuti e spero che siete ben trovati. Un abbraccio. I wanted to just say a happy Mother's Day to some special people, special mothers in my life. My wife, the mother of my children, Tanya, happy Mother's Day weekend. My mother-in-law, Giovanna, extraordinary mother and grandmother to my children. To all my friends that are mothers, big hugs and kisses to you all. God bless you. And also to the people, the idea of mothering is a particular thing, nowadays there's, 2 men that are mothering a child. And to them too as well. I don't want to exclude them in this. This isn't a gender thing, this mother thing. It's the idea of mothering that we're celebrating. And some of us have a female mother, and some of us might have a male mother, or the idea of mothering. So, kudos to you for mothering a child. Let's embrace the verb that is mothering. So let me tell you a little bit about Joe. Joe is a Canadian luthier. I'm not going to get into too much details with Joe because he's going to tell us a bit about himself. But I discovered Joe through some wonderful musicians, Canadian musicians, as Kevin Bright and Susie Vinnick. And I had this dream of building a special guitar. And I sussed out the right luthier in Joe Yanuziello. We'll talk a little more when he's on the show. But let's give him a call. Get him on. Hey, Joe. How you doing, buddy? How are you?
There you are.
And there you are. Where are you exactly, Joe? It looks like you're outside somewhere.
No, I'm in the shop.
You're in the shop. That's a good place to be. Are you working hard, or are you taking a little break for us, or? Let's see the shop.
Yeah, I'm working today, but I've got a couple of things on the go. A couple of Milanos and
Nice.
another guitar and a mandolin. Yeah.
Right on. Well,
I see what you're holding there. That looks familiar.
I'm holding a Yanuziello, ladies and gentlemen. I had briefly introduced a bit about you, but I kept it sparse because I really wanted to ask you a couple questions and get to know you for our public, to share who you are, what you do. So, Joe, there's one question I wanted to ask, and I tried remembering it, but I'm not too sure. How did you get into building guitars?
Well, like a lot of teenagers of my vintage, way back, I just sort of gravitated towards that. All my heroes played guitar, and it was just a natural thing. Nobody in my family actually was a musician, so it was a bit unusual. But I just remember getting my first guitar around 14 or 15 and not really knowing much about it. And, I taught myself how to play. And eventually, after becoming a woodworker, cabinet maker, I went to art college. After that period, I had enough skill, I guess, in essence, to build a guitar because I was already playing. So that's kind of how it happened. There were no courses back then. If you didn't apprentice with Larrivée or another school like that, then you were kind of out of luck. So I was at the mercy of whatever books or info I could find way before the internet. So it just happened kind of gradually, organically. I had a cabinet making business, a successful one actually. It was good business for
So there's
years.
the connection, the
But,
cabinet, the wood, yeah,
guitars
okay.
weren't.
Yeah, the passion
Yeah,
for rock and roll
eventually
and
I just,
guitars, and then the woodworking, right? So there's
you
that,
got it, yeah. What's not to love about guitars, right?
yeah, a natural kind of evolution for you to kind of slide into making beautiful pieces of art, ladies and gentlemen. Like these are extraordinary. Their sonority, I fell in love with their sonority. A mutual good friend of ours, Susie Vinnick. I've got some pictures. You're not going to be able to see them, but I'm going to share some photos that we took from that day that we drove out to Fleetwood, because Joe's shop is out in Fleetwood, Ontario.
Right. You and Vince and
Yeah, and Tony.
yeah.
That's right. And here is Tony talking to you, and I'm playing one of Susie Vinnick's, the red and white electric that you built for Susie. And Susie was kind enough to leave it behind to let me to check it out. And we brought food and we brought wine and we talked art, we talked life, we talked family, and we spent a lovely day together.
It was a fun day. Yeah, I remember that day really well.
Yeah. And it was my real introduction to you as a person. Because to me, you were a myth, right? You were Joe Yanuziello, the guy who built Kevin Bright's guitars. And I heard of you through Tony, because Tony was familiar with you.
I made one for Bill Frisell. It was about that time. I made a bunch at that time based on that guitar. And that all really came from Rob Pilch ordering a guitar from me with a spruce top and a trapeze-style tailpiece and a wooden bridge like an arch top. So that kind of spawned a whole bunch of instruments from that point. And Jeremy was a student, I think, of Tony at the time, and Tony just came in with him to visit me. Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah. And Joe, I'm just throwing a variety of different picks up, and tell us a little bit about the types of instruments you build.
Yeah, well, because of my interest in music at large, I mean, I love American roots music, Americana, if you will, and I always have. Like, my heroes still David Lindley, Ry Cooder. Those two guys they spoke to me, and all the instruments they played were kind of oddball things, like old Tyscos from Japan, and slide guitars like Rickenbackers, and Cooder played amazing slide guitar, and he played mandolin. So that music those guys specifically produce really influenced what I build. I make all the mandolin family instruments electrically. I make electric basses, rounded square neck resonator guitars, Hawaiian guitars, electric and acoustic, flat tops, and of course the electrics.
I modeled my guitar around the kind of color combinations of the black top with the wood,
with mahogany.
The mahogany sides, and it just spoke to me in a big way, and I started to veer off into La La Land and dream about what kind of guitar I could get you to
Your
make.
guitar is really unusual. I mean, it's one of a kind in many ways. And it's nice that you were honoring your mother and your family with this, and your mom's name's on, of course, Angelina. I think that's great. Just all sorts of little details on your guitar. The comfort bevel on the waist. I mean, these guitars aren't big, but everything counts, and you really kind of nailed what you wanted, and it was good. You picked good things. It was good to see.
Thanks, Joe.
That was a fun project for me.
Yeah, thank you, man. It was pretty emotional and fun for me as well. And, I can't thank you enough. Every time I pick this instrument up, it speaks, and I learn more about it. And actually, I learn more about myself, because it exposes your deficiencies because it really speaks. So you really got to hone in on your touch because it's speaking evenly
pretty
throughout.
lively.
Yeah.
I think the hollow body really adds to that. It's a good thing, but you have to play carefully and get used to using it for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And I
because
find
everything you do on it makes sound kind of.
the accuracy required, and not, that's not to say that you can play inaccurate and a little sloppy and messy and bluesy and junky, but it just says, be aware, because I'm gonna speak everything that you say to me. I'm gonna speak it, and so I'm much more sensitive and aware when I'm playing this instrument, how I touch it, how I attack it, which is great because it heightens my senses, and what a feeling, you know. Yeah. So I'm just elated with it. I love it. I just want to thank you for taking the time to be here with us.
My pleasure.
I over the course of building this guitar, Joe, you know, I've been documenting the process, right? And and from day one, I'm gonna put up a picture here. My brother tagged along and he started to draw our hang. And here's a picture when Susie Vinnick popped in to say hello, because Fleetwood is how far from Toronto? It's like an hour and a half.
Yeah, it's about an hour and a half.
Yeah, Erie way, right? We're talking towards Erie.
I'm about 8 kilometers north of the north shore of Lake Erie. It took me a while to get used to being under a lake instead of over one. Like, you know, I drive up to Lake Ontario instead of down to Lake Ontario. I'm not kidding. It took me a couple of years to get a handle on that. But I love it down here. It's really great. In fact, this whole pandemic event has been interesting for me because I've worked in isolation most of my life. You know, I've had shops in Toronto, obviously, and people come and go. But for the most part out here now, you know, I just work by myself. So aside from going out to get groceries, etc., I'm just same old for me. It's funny.
So we made the trek out to visit you the first time, and the documentation process started then, and that's where these drawings that everybody was checking out came from.
Right.
That day one when we met to climatize the conversation and get on with this. And then we went our separate ways, and I continued to dream, and I waited till I could afford to start to put the down payments down and get the process rolling. And it happened. Yeah. And it was a 3-year process for me. You could reach Joe at Yanuziello.com, right?
Absolutely.
And Yanuziello is spelled YANUZIELLO.
All of vowels.
And I'm curious, we discussed this. You've got an Italian background, but the letter Y, how did that get there?
My grandfather, Giuseppe Yanuziello, came from southern Italy, probably around 1900.
Okay.
He lived in a little town there, Petite.
Yeah.
With I think Johnny Lombardi's from there, actually. You know, the Lombardi family in Toronto. Yeah. Lombardi.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's right down at the arch of the boot down there.
Puglia region.
The instep, yeah. And he came over and had a family here. He met my grandmother here, who was also born in Italy. And my father ended up marrying someone from Ireland. So that's where the language stopped as far as me learning Italian. I wish I spoke Italian, but unfortunately I don't.
But you eat Italian, which is good. And you drink Italian, which is good.
You know, it's funny, those roots are pretty strong, right? They really are. I just found an interesting thing out about my grandfather. He was a barber, a vocational barber. Okay. As was my Irish grandfather. He was also a vocational barber.
Look at that.
Which would, I don't know why, I never get haircuts, but anyway. He came over and started a barbershop up here, and he had, in the 30s, at the CNE, you walk in the, I think it was the Queen Elizabeth building, on both sides was a long hallway, and he had a temporary barbershop there every year for years when the CNE was on. He had like 14 chairs, and I just found an ad. There was a program from 1935 for the CNE, and it was like a book. And I'm leafing through it, and there's an ad for my grandfather, Joe Yanuziello.
Look at that.
He changed his name. Or it got changed maybe when he came over. I'm not sure.
So it was like an articulation thing. It sounded like a Y to people.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because I'm going, like, Y is not in the letter alphabet, Italian alphabet. Like, what's it doing in his name? Yeah. It had to happen on the the change over to North America.
I have a few cousins that have actually changed their name back from the spelling that I have to Yanuziello, which
Gotcha.
is many double letters.
I think it's cool. I think it's actually pretty emblematic to who you are. You're a hybrid of cultures, and it's an expression of that. Joe, man, you rock. What a blessing to have you here. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Joseph Yanuziello, one of Canada's top premier luthiers. He can be found at yanuziello.com, or you can reach out to me if you're having problems remembering that. And I'll get you in touch with Joe. He's an extraordinary artist, and it was a pleasure to have you here, Joe.
Cheers, Dominic. Likewise.
Cheers,
have
brother.
fun today.
Be well.
Ciao.
And I want to take the show out with the story of Angelina. This is what happened when I cut Mr. Yanuziello a deposit. So I cut Joe loose. Man, was I excited. I finally was going to have the guitar of my dreams. Custom in every way. Wanting to honor my late mother, I chose to incorporate my DNA into the design. And in my mind, there was only one way of doing that. So here I am with Joe. This is, I think, our third or fourth meeting around producing this guitar, and exciting. We're turning the corner on it. Joe's come up with some of his ideas for the in-script. What do we got here, Joe?
What we've got is your pickguard, Dominic. A mock-up of your pickguard with your mother's name in script, which I did by hand.
Nice.
And it's going to be engraved in the top part of the pickguard. Instead of being behind like this, it'll be a black pickguard with white. And I'll infill the letters, the engraved letters, with white lacquer, so it'll show like crazy. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'm pretty excited about this because it's been a dream and a vision of mine for the last 3 years, I think it's been. And now we're pretty much in the home stretch.
Absolutely. Well, we're down to measuring a guitar neck for you.
That's right.
So we got the comfortable feel of the neck.
Yeah.
The color you've decided on, and it's very exciting. This is a one-off for me.
And hey, Joe, I got the stash for you.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's on ice.
It's on ice,
but we
okay.
got to do it in the parking lot.
DNA. Okay,
Yes.
We'll go get the contraband after.
All right.
That will be part of your family history.
Yeah. You know what they say, Joe, in Italian, they say, la mamma è la prima e l'ultima parola, which means mother is the first word and the last word.
That's a thing of beauty. I love it.
Thanks for being a part of this journey for me, Joe.
Likewise. Cheers.
So Joe left with measurements, final specifications intact, and the most essential ingredient to finishing this guitar, my DNA. But Joe had concerns. He didn't want to stain the entire instrument as I had instructed him to do, because he said blood was not the most ideal substance to stain a wonderfully cured piece of wood. And he had his reservations, and he just didn't want to do it. So he came up with a wonderful solution. Angelina's
gonna come to life here. Ba, 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 ba.
Oh yeah. Oh baby. Oh yeah.
We'll take it out. Hang on. You got it?
Yeah. This is welcome to the world, Angelina. May you be good to me.
We gotta flip over the headstock. You ready?
The reveal. The DNA.
There it
There
is.
it is, baby.
Wow. Dominic's blood.
What makes this guitar unique from all the others that you've made, Joe?
Well,
because you had input into this,
Yeah.
Dominic, basically, well, the color of it is fantastic. Just the way it looks, Angelina, of course,
Yeah.
being homage to your mother, which is fantastic for you and your family. And the body, like just this cutaway thing is something I would not normally do because it is kind of Fender-esque, but
Right.
it's totally appropriate and it's comfortable and it looks great on this guitar. I really like the way it looks. And the satin neck, everything about this is you, and that's the nice thing about it for me as a builder. Having input from customers is an important thing. And this is a good example of that. And this is one of the best examples of that, actually.
Awesome. I'm honored to be a part of that.
Years of great playing and pleasure with this. I like making it, and I look forward to hearing you
If
play.
you flip it around, Joe, I brought my blood to Joe, and he's beautifully treated it in this featured motif here in the back of the headstock.
It's organic. Well, based on your idea, honestly, I was a little dubious. I think I recall saying to you I'd have to drain all your blood to paint the whole body, so we decided not to go that route, fortunately for your family and me. So, we chose a spot on the guitar that's appropriate. I think the headstock is a good place to do something like this. Yep. So, I took a piece of holly and bordered it with sterling silver, and there's your blood painted in between. Your DNA is on this guitar. And I think it works really well on the back of the headstock.
It does.
There's not many things you could do with with blood on a guitar, other than bathe the whole thing, but blood isn't paint, so it wasn't the easiest thing to negotiate, but it works really well in this context. I like it. It's very organic. It almost looks like a burl, and the color's beautiful, actually, with the guitar. It's lovely. Yeah, that's it, man.
As my brother Vince once said, if an artist falls in love with you, you can never die. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. We love you.
The Story of Angelina. I hope you enjoyed that. I want to wish everyone who's mothering someone or something have a blessed weekend. It's your weekend. Enjoy, chill. I'm going to take it out with a little Beatles tune that I think is appropriate to play on this guitar. Oh, darling, please believe me, I'll never do you no harm. Yeah, believe me when I tell you, I'll never do you no harm. Oh, darling, if you leave me, I'll never make it alone. Please don't leave me, ladies and gentlemen. Stay with me. Yeah, believe me when I tell you, I'll never make it alone. Yeah, believe me, darling. Well, you told me you didn't need me anymore. Well, you know I nearly broke down and cried. Well, you told me you didn't need me anymore. Well, you know I nearly broke down and died. Oh, darling, please believe me, I'll never do you no harm. You gotta believe me when I I'll tell you, I'll never do you no harm. Believe me, darling. Have a great weekend, ladies and gentlemen. Please tune in next week, 4 o'clock on the VIBIN show. Please tell 2 friends. Stay in touch, and God bless. Cheers.